far as getting married, he never proposed, still hasn't. he just presumed we were getting married 3 days after we met. And I agreed.
Yeah.
Both of us told our stories to each other during that 3 days. And that was that.
We met in Vancouver, British Columbia at a Bible conference. She lived in Rochester, New York. I lived in Oakland, California.
He had attempted to become friends with 2 girls and got rejected. I was friends with a guy when I was 18. We didn't date, but it was kind of understood. And found out that he was basically already an alcoholic. And that did it for me. So both of us went to this conference saying to the Lord, we'd rather be single than married to the wrong person.
And it just so happened that Rosemary and her mother were traveling across Canada and coming down the western edge of the Americas, and I was told to get information about their flights. So at the conference, I sought out this Rosemary and her mother, and quickly realized that Rosemary was the one that was handling all the arrangements, not her mother. So I had to talk to Rosemary. And then the couple I was staying with would have young people in every evening for food and singing and so on. And we got into conversation, Rosemary and myself.
These conferences were meeting grounds for young people.
And so I asked her the question, not the question you might be thinking of, but I asked her, can you put up with someone with this kind of disability? And her answer was very, very telling.
But he then said to me, I don't think I can have children. His mother and father didn't truly explain what his problem was.
She said, I'm not looking on the outside, I'm looking on the inside. I see your heart for God, and that's what matters.
His aunt told me that he was born with CP after a very long labor for his mother, who was 40. And then the fire, the explosion. I remember him telling me he thought the explosion was what caused everything else. So I think there was some shame, especially with his mother, and denial. So he didn't understand. So I said to him, there's nothing wrong with you. I'm sure you can have children. 5
months later, we're married. We met in September, we're married in February. And that was with 3,000 miles between us, no cell phones, no email. We wrote letters every single day to each other.
So my mom loved him, but she did say, "Are you okay going through life with someone who maybe talks differently and walks differently? How do you feel?" And I said, "That's not what I see. That's not nothing. It's what's inside."
So you growing up with your father, if you saw somebody not treating him the way he ought to be treated, I mean, how did that make you feel as a kid?
I remember one example, and I don't know why this one sticks in my mind, but we were hiking. I grew up in California. Right? We were hiking out to Point Reyes, and my father, despite having cerebral palsy, loved to hike. Yosemite, anywhere there was a trail, let's go hiking. It didn't stop him.
Sherman has done things that other people wouldn't even think of doing, like climbing tall mountains in California.
Top of Half Dome. Two of the boys went with me, and we went to the top of Unicorn Peak, which is 11,144 feet. And the top of that is not even the size of this carpet, with a 2,000-foot drop there and a 2,000-foot drop there, but we did it.
And I wasn't there, fortunately, to see.
We love to do the things together. When I was more able to do it, hiking, camping, exploring, we love that. But we just complement each other in a wonderful way.
But I remember I was walking behind my father, and there was a group of young people coming the other way, and they passed him and turned around and looked at him and started mimicking and making fun of the way he walked. And I remember that sticking in my mind, and I remember being embarrassed.
Was there ever a time that you were angry about having cerebral palsy?
Yes. It was as I was leaving high school, and I don't think I've ever told anyone about this, but I was not invited to the graduation of our high school. There was a handicap program that was associated with it. Things had happened in high school that were very disappointing.
And I look back on that moment and realize I was embarrassed, but I was angry later on in life. I was angry that I got embarrassed about that as a young person, but I was upset that people couldn't see who my father really was. That was a 5-second pass on a trail, and they made fun of him. And I saw a lot of that. There was a lot of that throughout my growing up years with my dad. But I look back on those moments and I realize my dad didn't care. He pushed through. He didn't care what people thought. He was going to go do stuff. He was involved in our lives. He was involved in all of his kids, grandkids, great-grandkids' lives. And Leon is a special young man who, there's a special relationship there that he has with his grandpa.
So when Leon came into our family picture, Chris and Katie went to China to pick him up. I was thrilled because I knew that he and I would have a very special link in our family.
That's basically our pretty much only wedding picture. It was the church we were born into became a cult. You couldn't wear a veil. You couldn't have flowers. you're going to have a wedding cake, and your dress, your lawn dress needed to be short.
And there were things that happened in that school and also in middle school that were evidence of persons, other kids I should say, who didn't understand my condition. And they'd do things that were very hurtful, trying to trip me, jamming my hand in a locker door and things like that. But having got almost straight A's in high school, I thought sure that I would be on the honor roll. I wasn't even invited to the graduation.
He bought a house, and I think it was only a month before we were married, I came out to San Francisco to see the house. That was just inside the front door of the house. A bunch of his friends, who I was later to call my friends from church, came and surprised us there.
When I was starting to go to college, the Vietnam War was in motion. I had a lot of friends my age going into the Army, and I had the terrible idea that if I got into the Army, I could deal with myself in a way that was inappropriate.
What is something that people would never expect about Sherman and his story?
I had hoped that I could get into the Army, get to Vietnam, and that would be the end of my life.
We couldn't afford to hire people to fix anything in the house, so here's a picture of Sherman up on a ladder. He put the scaffolding up. It was scary to watch. I think they were painting the house that time.
I had been struggling with my awkwardness and so on, and I met a man by the name of Norm Wakefield. He's now 94, lives in Phoenix, Arizona, and he became my mentor, and he skillfully and wisely changed my outlook on myself. And he made the comment after I had done some complaining. He said, Sherman, God can't do what he wants to do through you unless he had designed you the way you are. That was a very defining moment. One more.
Would you be comfortable with reading one of your letters?
Let me see. I don't know.
There was one more event that I don't think I've mentioned before, but at the age of 3, my parents had gone to Mexico for a Christmas vacation and staying in a motel. It was January, a little cold, and so my father turned up the butane heat, and something in the functioning of the heater created a spark, and it exploded. I was standing right in front of that heater.
So we met on September 7th. This was written September 12th.
The force of the explosion threw me across the room. The front door of the motel room was blown out. Even though others in the room were not nearly affected as I was, I received burns on my hands and my forehead. They rushed me to a hospital. So I was transferred to Alta Bates Hospital in Berkeley, California. They had a burn center, and I was, even though I was 3, I still visibly remember the floor and the nurse's station, because there was a nurse on duty at night, and I couldn't sleep because of the pain of the burns, but she would pick me up and take me to the nurse's station and hold me. Now, she had no arms beyond the elbow joint. And so she would kick off her shoes while she was holding me with the stubs of her arms and type with her toes. For some reason, I can still see that moment, even though I was only 3. I don't remember anything about my treatment, but I remember the care that she gave me and the comfort it was to have someone hold me when I couldn't sleep.
You want me to say?
Yes.
My only and most precious lover. He used to call me his treasure. It's probably in some of these letters. It's funny. Just read one.
Oh my, I actually had fairly good writing in those days.
Many waters cannot quench love, neither do the floods drown it. Song of Songs. So,
my only and most precious lover, what a thrill it was to get your letter. It only puts my first letter very much to shame, but forgive me for having difficulty in expressing myself. In any case, I will learn how to write by the letters your loving hand will write. Now that you're gone, I can see more clearly how strong our bond is of love. And there's so much more, but I can tell you that Rosemary has been such a treasure to me for all these 57 years plus, and we're going to finish together.
Thank you for watching this story. My dad and I are truly grateful to meet Rosemary and Sherman. And before you go, just wanted to say, we're currently short of our fundraising goal, so please consider a donation to keep this channel alive. And thank you to everyone who's donated. This is all possible because of you. Here's some comments that prove you are making an impact with your donation.